awesome. Oh, this place is a banger. I looked at this place. This place is unfucking real. This is actually we listed. I think we listed this property. In fact, we did. We did list this property. It's unreal. If you like this, I actually feel bad showing this. It's just too good. It's just insane. It has its own lake. Okay, so check it out. It's a full quarter section. Okay, so it's that. It has its own lake. Okay, and look at this. You got fields. You got another small pond there. You've got the house. You got farm infrastructure. You got animal infrastructure. You got tons of trees. Zoom back a little bit. You're in another microclimate because you're going to get lake effect off this Pigeon Lake here. You got a small lake effect on this sort of Finger Lake here. This property is unreal. This property is absolutely unreal, and I'll show you the the listing too. It's not like it's not the house isn't the Shangri-La, but it's livable. It's half decent, but the property is a banger. Like this property is insane. If a property like this was in BC, it would be $4 or $5 million. And you couldn't even really find a property like this, BC, especially this size of acreage. You could, unless it was if it was northern BC, like Quesnel or Prince George or something like that. You could find a property like this. It would still cost more than this, but this property is absolutely insane. So, yeah, it's like okay house, right? Some like vinyl siding, shitty, but the inside is okay. Like it's got tile floor in the kitchen and dining room, nice covered deck area, unbelievable view out into the little lake, semi-vaulted ceilings. House is okay. I would move that when I think when we showed this one, I'll show you the kitchen here. Um, you could you could do a mod if you wanted to rearrange this kitchen. You see where the wood stove is? We do this with a lot of houses that we look at. Actually, this wood stove is in the basement, but if you wanted to make this home really hardcore off grid, you could do the thing that Ben Falk does with the wood cook stove, and you could rearrange this kitchen. I just totally reno this kitchen. I just rebuild it and restructure the open space. But you'd have a wood cook stove in here, and you'd put it right around where this island is, and it'd be the hearth in the center of that whole living space upstairs, and it would now be heating inside of the house, not on the wall, like so many houses do with wood stoves, which is inefficient inside, and then you'd be cooking on there, doing your domestic hot water, and you're heating your home with one stove without any electricity, and then gravity siphoning your thermal siphoning your water into a hot water tank above or somewhere below or somewhere around, and you could pump to it as well. But you could change the game on a house like this by doing something like that. But yeah, it's an okay house. It's like a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. The bones are there, but it's dated and it's like, it's like ugly bathroom and whatever, but it's livable, right? Uh, it's got a little old school piano. I'd ask to keep that for sure. Little firewood area by the house. Okay, it's okay. I get it. A little garage down there with like a sort of a little finishing carpentry shop you might have had there at some point. Little cabin, little firewood shack. I think, yeah, the sauna. This is banger. This sauna is not in great condition. You'd have to renovate. Like it's kind of falling apart there, but that's pretty sweet to have that. You could fix it up. It's a fixer upper, you know. But the land and what the other infrastructure on the property. So you got a big shop with like a 12-foot bay door there. Two cars can drive into that side by side. You got some horse or cow infrastructure in there. You got fields that you could till up. Beautiful topographic shot. I love how the house is kind of separated from the utility farm area there. That's great. Look at that. Like that's unreal. For Alberta, are you kidding me? $1 million. Look at that. That's insane. Beautiful country all around. I mean, Alberta's a lot of just peri-urban farmland, right? So if you can find a property like this in Alberta, I mean, this is insane. This property is insane. And the shop is amazing. Look at that. Nice mezzanine up there. You can have like a whole business office up there or something like that. It's unreal. The property is unreal. and then just check out check it out, man. I mean, it's just this is incredible. Incredible. Total microclimate effect from that from that lake. Total microclimate effect. And you're not as deep in the Chinook zone as you are when you get further over here. So um this is just a total banger. Total banger. A-rated property, absolutely. But again, I'm not all about the house. I'm not all about um uh I'm not all about just that. Like most that's the difference between what I do, what we do at Freedom Farmers versus what a normal realtor does is that we're showing you the whole picture. And so when I talk about a homestead, I'm not even just talking about this quarter section here, right? I'm zooming the back and I'm looking at microclimates. Boom, lake effect right there, lake effect right there. Rural zone. So peri-urban, open fields, boring, don't want to live there, full of chemicals, don't really want to live there, generally speaking. Rural areas, trees, dynamic topography, vegetation and wildlife, cleaner air, wind breaks, microclimates. These are the areas you want to be in. And that's, we pull the lens back and take the whole thing into context to understand what life is like at that place. So that place is a banger. I hope somebody buys that place. It's been on the market for 118 days. So I think that you could take you could make a little less of an offer on that. I think the reason this place isn't selling is that the house isn't great. And that's the thing that, especially Albertans are, no offense, Albertans, but generally speaking, you guys are pretty, that, there's so much new development in Alberta because of the boom uh, from years ago, which is over. But there's so much new construction in Alberta. So Albertans are often used to these cookie cutter suburb homes that are just real, like they're actually not the greatest quality. Sometimes they're really cheap construction, but they look nice and they're all relatively new. This house isn't that. So I'm suspecting that's why this place hasn't sold, but people just don't realize how amazing the land is on that property. And that's the thing with that place. So